Welcome back to Blue Collar Catholic. Before I get into today's topic, I just want to tell you a short story. So there was this prison inmate. He was a lifer, and every day they let him go out to the garden. So every day he would push his wheelbarrow full of hay out the prison gate. And every day the same prison guard was there, and he would look through the hay, and he'd say, "I know you're stealing. One day I'm going to find what you're stealing." And this went on day after day. The inmate would walk out with the wheelbarrow full of hay, and the prison guard would look through the hay and say, "What are you stealing?" And every day this went on for 20 more years. Prisoner would walk out with the wheelbarrow full of hay, the guard would look through it, never find anything. So one day the prison guard says to the inmate, "Listen, I'm retiring tomorrow. I'm not going to get you in trouble. I just got to know, what have you been stealing?" So the inmate looks at him and says, "Wheelbarrows." So the moral of the story is, sometimes things are so obvious we overlook them. And that's how I was. As an evangelical, I read my Bible every day, front to back, inside and out, studied it, memorized verses, but I never really gave it much thought of how it came to us. Who decided which books would be included in the Bible? I always heard in the early church there were a lot of books circulating that some people thought were inspired words of God, and some people said no, they're just good teaching, but they're not inspired, God breathed. So this is what I found out. The Council of Carthage, 397 AD, the leaders of the church, led by the Holy Spirit, decided which books would be in the Bible. So I Googled Council of Carthage, and there were like 138 canons. So canons are just another word for rule or law. So they listed each rule or each law they decided on that day, led by the Holy Spirit. And if you read each one, you get down to canon number 24, and it shows you the books in the Bible. Well, to my surprise, there were 73 books. And the 73 books were identical to the Catholic Bible of today. The Protestant Bible only has 66 books. So I did a little more research. Why does the Protestant Bible have 7 less books? And I found out that Martin Luther, like over 1,000 years later, decided to take out 7 books from the Old Testament, which we call the Deuterocanonical books, and 4 books from the New Testament. James, which in my next video I'll explain why he took James out, Revelation, Hebrews, and Jude. Thankfully, the other reformers put those 4 New Testament books in, put them back in, so today the Catholic New Testament and the Protestant New Testament is identical. But then I thought, if I don't trust the Catholic Church, then I shouldn't trust my New Testament, because it was the Catholic Church who decided which books should be included. You see, for 1,500 years there was only one church, the Catholic Church, until Martin Luther left and started the Protestant Reformation. So that led me to a lot more questions and a lot more answers, which I'll be sharing with you in a series of videos coming up. But one thing that I also found out was the Catholic Bible is the same Bible that Jesus read. See, Jesus read the Greek Septuagint, and that had the 7 Deuterocanonical books in it. And throughout the New Testament, it's quoted. The New Testament quotes these 7 books that Martin Luther took out, proving that they were inspired. And the reason Martin Luther said, no, because the Hebrew Old Testament doesn't have those 7 books. The Jews don't agree that they're canonical. And at his time, when he was alive, the only manuscripts he had were the Hebrew and the Greek Septuagint. But when we found the Dead Sea Scroll, lo and behold, we found these 7 books written in Hebrew. So they were written before the Bible, the Old Testament that Martin Luther said was the final word. They were just translated into the Greek because the whole world spoke Greek in Jesus' time. So if you want to read the same exact Bible Jesus read, you need to read the Catholic Bible. So that's Blue Collar Catholic teaching for today. Thank you for listening and looking forward to our next teaching. God bless.